And we're back.
And we're back. And the Levian welcome you.
And we're back. The Levian never left. Here to welcome us. Nuvach, Humdach, SUPERCHULLIN, 81, Kobe, 22b, Masechet Chulin. Masechet is how the Tzionim say Maseches. Just kidding. I'm joking. All right. But we are here in the schos of the captives, in the schos of the soldiers, in the schos of the family, in the schos of the yeshiva, in the schos that we continue coming together in Steigin. By Rebbe Zeir. Rebbe Zeir is like, I got a question. That's how we open up shir on this beautiful Yom Rishon afternoon Seder Shteig. SUPERCHULLIN nose. Aleph Pei? Aleph? Nose? All right. Rebbe Zeir asks, by Rebbe Zeir, Ha'omer hare alai ola min hatorim o min b'nei hayona. So someone who says, upon me it is an ola. So someone is making a neder, right? Or an adava. Someone is making a vow that he's going to bring this korban in the Beis HaMikdash. And he says, it is upon me to bring an ola from the turtle doves or from the young doves. The old turtle doves or the young regular doves. Now, I hear you guys say, well, I can have a picture of that. We just have to imagine a turtle flying through space. And by space, obviously, I mean the stuff around us. This is the turtle dove, and this is the regular dove. And the way you can tell the difference is because of their necks. And so, and also, that's how we can also tell their age, is because of their necks. Well, these are the same. We don't know what the ages of these are. These kosher or not, but this one is an old turtle dove, and this is a young dove. I don't know. This dove doesn't look so young. Listen, I'm no aviation Roderick M.
I think you're correct. That is an older dove. That would not be necessarily what we would be.
No, we
not the turtle.
old, yeah, exactly. So, but at least we have the idea. Imagine a young one of the dove. Imagine an old one of the turtle dove, flying with a cane, saying, "Look all these breadcrumbs." Yeah. So, if you say, I'm going to bring the turtle dove or a dove, the hevi min techilas hatzihuv shebazeh v'shebazeh mahu. Okay. So, techilas hatzihuv is when it begins to get yeller. You know about old yeller?
Bird dog.
Bird dog, bird dog.
Why are you still promoting Disney? I don't understand.
That's not
It's Nickelodeon, bro.
It's Disney old.
I know. It's Shiva this, Shiva that.
It's okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, bird dog. It.
Just goes to show how they're everywhere.
Oh, bro, ubiquitous. The techila of the tzihuv, the beginning of the yellowness. On each one of them, we said it's puzzle. What happens if it begins to get yellow? The beginning of the yellowness, so it shows that the turtle dove is not old enough. Beginning of the yellow, come talk to me when you've gotten full yellow. You want to be brought in the Beis HaMikdash? We need a real adult. But the Bnei Yonah, the young dove, were like, wait a second, it's got the beginning of the yellow, it's too old. But the Gemara here asks, Mahu, what's the din? Sveika havi v'nafik. So is it a sveika and it goes out? Oh Dilma, oh Dilma. Birya havi v'lo nafik. So sveika means suffix, and birya means a sure thing, like bari. Sveika means like suffix, and birya means like a sure thing, like bari. Suffix is like an uncertainty. Is a good question. You got me. You're like, wait a second, sveika means suffix. Good kasha. So, Svega means an uncertainty, and Birya seems to be like a certainty. We know we have Shema and Bari. Okay. So, Velo Nafik, and it doesn't go out. We have to see, what do you mean it doesn't go out? What does that mean? Amar Rava, says Rava, Tajma, come. Excluding the beginning of the yellow. Why are we asking is it puzzle or not, the beginning of the tziyuv? We have a brisa. The brisa says that it says min hatorim, from the turtle doves, min b'nei hayayna, from the young doves. And we learn from the turtle doves, but not all the turtle doves. From the young doves, but not all the young doves. And so we learn in the Brisa, excluding the beginning of yeller. Excluding the beginning of when it starts to become yellow in their necks. That it's puzzle. So then, if you're going to say bishlema, I understand birya. I understand if I know. If I know that it's beginning yellow. What if it's a suffix of beginning yellow, or what if it's for sure beginning yellow? So if I say bishlema that it stims, Zalman, I want you to tell me the shoresh of the word bishlema. You're saying, what am I talking about? So we have, on the bottom of Chaf Beis Am Beis, we have this right here. Bishlema. And so we see that there are 5 letters here, right? Bet, Shin, Lamed, Mem, Aleph. But the shoresh is usually a 3-letter. So in this one, the shoresh happens to be, the root of the word is those 3 letters in the middle. What word do you see there? Shin, Lamed, Mem. What does that sound like? How do you say hi? How do you say hello?
To you?
Yeah.
It could be a hug.
How do you say it in Hebrew? Shalom. Shalom. What does shalom mean? Very good. What does shalom mean?
Peace.
Peace. Bishlema. I understand. There's peace in the neighborhood. Exactly. That's what that word means. Bishlema. I understand birya. If it was a sure thing, havi shabir. Ela iyamar tzveik havi. But if it is not sure, so I'm not sure. But maybe it's saying like this: that if you tell me that the beginning of yellow, okay, I'm sure 100% it's the old. Oh, we got it. Okay, so check it out. These are the hats. Right now, I'm wearing the Cloud Spy Special. And then this is the Super Show thread included. Yo, that's sick. And then this is the Bebas Revenge. Yo, nice. And, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, the Eibush should give us the Siyata D'Shmaya. We saw an unbelievable pasuk mentioning Sheiris Yisrael.
Yeah, I would like a zero on that, because a lot of people in your nighttime share didn't get that at all, because we happened in the morning. But that was
Right.
a fabulous ways through that. Like you were surprised.
Yeah.
So if you're surprised, I'm certainly astonished.
It was wild. I think I hear you. Yeah, but so we can get the pasuk. We can get the pasuk. We actually have it open right here. I'll say this: Ilui Nishmas, the Ilui Nishmas, the Bibases and their family, and Yarden who is alive. Shout out to him. Hashem should give him strength. It says in the pasuk in Micah 5:7. V'haya sheiris Yisrael b'goyim b'kerev amim, and it was that the remnants of Israel in the nations amongst b'goyim b'kerev amim. So it uses the word goyim and amim. Rabim, amim, rabim, many goyim. Ke'aryeh b'behemos, like a lion amongst the animals of the Ya'ar. Kikfir be'edrei tzon, like the lion, also tiger, lion, kfir be'edrei tzon amongst the flock of sheep. Asher im avar v'ramas v'taraf ve'ein matzio, that if it goes and it could basically do what it wants. That's what it will be for like for Am Yisrael. And we saw this pasuk randomly.
What's the Hemshech of pasuk Taichas? I don't understand.
Asher im avar v'ramas, that if it went and tramples ve'ein matzio, there's no one to save. It's talking about what the remnant of Israel will be at the end of days, and it talks about V'asisi v'af v'chema nakam es hagayim asher lo shamau. The end of this, the conclusion of this story, is that Hashem is going to do with anger and wrath. He will carry out revenge against the nations, and we saw that this pasuk. Esther pointed out. She said, "Aryeh reminds me of Ariel, Bibas, and Kafir reminds me of Fear Bibas." She said, "What's the pasuk?" And I said, "V'haya k'sheiris Yisrael b'goyim." She said, "Oh my God, Shiri, Bibas." And so we said, "Mir Hashem, we should be zocha to see Hashem with anger and wrath, taking revenge on the goyim asher lo shameu."
Amen. And the orange hat has to go.
What?
And the orange hat.
And yeah, and she's like, "Oh my God, and you're wearing the orange hat." I was like, "Oh, Bibas revenge."
I never wear orange and that day.
Yeah, she was wearing orange that day with wrath and anger. All right. So, anyways,
Anyway, I thought you should share that with the group at night because.
oh yeah,
It
it's
was
good for
incredible.
Chazara. Yeah, it's amazing. Happy to do Chazara on it again. So if you're going to say it was a sfeika havi it's derech kra lemeut it's sfeika, we need a whole pasuk to come and exclude a case of uncertainty. Ki it's derech kra lemeude nirva v'ne'ebad. No, the pasuk that we're using, that we need, that's just limeute nirva v'ne'evad. Nirva and neva. Who knows what that is? Oh, my shirt. Nirva and nevad. Nirva and nevad.
I'm gonna block.
Okay. I'll give you guys a hint. These are two things that would make an animal puzzle to be brought as a korban. No, we're not talking about paradum over here, but not bad. Not bad, yes.
Age?
No. Let's look at the words. Okay, nirva, let's put on the side. That's the harder one. But nevad, we can figure it out. Ne'evad, we can figure it out from like,
It works.
Like no, that's only para duma. What's ne'evad, ladies and gentlemen? If someone is ayved it, avodah zara. Ne'evad. Remember the nun, ladies and gentlemen. The nun makes it binyan nif'al, which makes it passive. Ne'evad, someone did avodah zara to it. What could nirva be?
Like quartered it or something? No?
I guess you could say quartered it, but I think I want a little bit more descriptive.
Like made it puzzle through the way they checked it or something?
Mm-hmm. No, it's something you can't bring for a korban. Something happened to it in his life.
Quartered it. Someone did
Quartered it is not really such a good.
Like a limb?
I'm talking about they didn't quarter it. They didn't do a Q word to it, but they did a different letter word to it. Oh, nirva. The lashon of nirva is from. It actually has to do with like a quarter. I think it has something to do with like the rain coming in, like revia. It's like when the rain goes in and into the earth, and it like fertilizes, or it makes the earth able to grow. Fertilizes like the ground when the water goes in. So that's why I think it has to do with the word revia. But really, nirva is an animal that someone had sex with. Puzzle for a korban. Get it out of my Beis HaMikdash. Says Hashem. Sagadaita chamina. What is sagadaita chamina?
It goes up on your mind that you should think.
Or to say. I would have thought to say. Very good. Ho'il. Since v'chsiv. Zayn bazug. Ki mashachtem bahem mum bam. Shalom aleichem grum. Ki mashachtem bahem mum bam. This is a bazug in Vayek. Right. The bazug says, Umiyad ben Nechar. And from the hand of the foreigner, the son of the foreigner. Lo sakrivu es lechem Elohechem mikol ele. We don't take from, and this, by the way, people say, what do we call non-Jews? Do we call them Goyim? Do we call them Akum? Do we call them this? Do we call that? Nachrim, or Ben Nechar, foreigners. Seems to be like one of the ways the Torah calls them. Even though the Navi, we saw, use Goyim and Amim Rabim. Right? The care of Goyim ve'amim Rabim. But so we don't accept korbanos from non-Jews. L'chayra, I'm not sure. I'm not saying that's 100% clear, because sometimes maybe we do. So let's see. Mikol eleki mashchasam bam mum bam lo yeratzu lachem. It's considered a blemish. It's considered a blemish. And this guy from, I think he was from Belgium, and he had an injury. You know what they called him? The Flemish blemish. Belgium? Flemish? Am I even right about that? Is that accurate? Anyone? Smart people?
I think that is
Belgium, Flemish? Does that make sense? Yeah. Flemish blemish? Alright, fire. So we go Vayikra 22, 25, and basically we don't want these blemished animals. And it says in the hands of the stranger, it's considered, when you take it from the hands of a stranger, from the hand of Ben Nechar, it's considered mumbam. Mumbam. They gave a shir about this in India. They called the shir Mumbam in Bombay. Nirva v'nevad. Sakadai techamina hoa v'chziv ki mashachtem ki mashchasam bahem mumbam. Because, so what is mashchasam bahem? It says their corruption is in them. That's how they teach it here. Mashchasam bahem. The corruption. Why can't strangers give korbanos? Because their corruption is in the korban. Now or in the animal. Now I can imagine what that's talking about. Vitana debay Rabbi Yishmael, and Rabbi Yishmael house. We'll be right back after these messages. Tana debay Rabbi Yishmael, kol magom shene'emar hashchaza eino ela dvar erva ve'avodas kochavim. Interesting, the connection. They go together, erva and avodas kochavim. So when it says hashchasa, a corruption, mashchit, to corrupt, to destroy, it's talking about erva and akum. Says Tana Devei Rabbi Yishmael L. Hubbard. Anyone? L. Ron Hubbard. Tana Devei Rabbi Yishmael Ron Hubbard. Okay. Rabbi Chaz Hashem, obviously they'll have the elf of a million of those, but and Ron Hubbard was a fiction writer. Dum 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 dum. So it says, Yosef, ki hishchiz kol basar as darko haaretz. So when it's talking about erva, where do we see hashchasa being connected to erva? In Parshas Noach, ki hishchiz kol basar as darko ala haaretz. All of the flesh. Rashi tells us over there that the frogs and the cheetahs and the lions and the deer and the birds, they were all copulating. Hashem's like, that's it, time for a mabul. Hashem's like, yo, you know what cake I'm in the mood for actually? Some good old mabul cake. See you, Josh, Tuesday.
He's not my marble right.
My marble right. The marble right. Okay, so where do we see it mean avodas kochavim? Dichsev pen tashchisun. V'yazizem lachem pesel. Maybe you will corrupt yourselves and make a pesel. What's a pesel?
Like,
Not puzzle, but it definitely is related to that word.
is it not like a mortar?
A pesel is a idol.
Idol.
I got it.
Yeah.
I was actually going to get
Graven image, yeah.
No.
So the red pesel, kol she'amum posel bo, kol she'amum posel bo, davar erva v'avodas kochavim posel bo. So anything that a blemish would invalidate. For example, if there's a blemish on the korban, if there's a blemish on the animal, so it would make it not good to bring for korban, for sacrifice in the base of Mikdash. So davar erva and avodas kochavim is also possible. So 3 things you can't do to an animal if you want to bring it as a korban. You can't hurt it and give it a blemish. You can't have relations to it. You can't rape it, right? And you can't worship it, you know? The animal's like, just rape me. Just like if it's going to be one of the three. You know, doesn't want to get a mom. Okay. Davar erva vodas gochavim pos limbo. V'kol she'ein hamum pos elbo. Ein davar erva vodas gochavim pos limbo. And everything that the mum is not invalidating it, so then having sex with it or worshiping it for idolatry does not invalidate it. Now, my animal friends are telling me that it's pretty unanimous that they would all rather be worshipped as idols than raped. So, just so that's what the animals are saying. Okay. So, Vahani Ophos, these boys, Vahani Ophos, Hoil, since Velo Psilbu Muma, since the birds, the mum, the blemish is not invalidating it. Oh, great. That means we can just go around and just beat up the geese. You know? If we stop right here, maybe we can do that. Let's see what the Gemara says. By the way, probably usher, because you can't cause damage or pain to the geese. You know? Some people, they think they're smart. They think they're smart, and they're like, oh, I'll just hit these geese with a bag of oranges. It won't leave a bruise. Then I can get my anger out on these geese and not invalidate them for a korban. Still tzar b'chayim though. I think they're smart. I mean, I wouldn't do it. The Amar Mar, because Mister says, Tammuz v'zachrus b'behema v'ein Tammuz v'zichrus be'ofos. You know, you go through life, you hear people quoting this Gemara, but you see it inside is something wild. So, what's Tam? What's Tam? Simple. Okay, well, I don't know what that means, Tam. And what's Zichros?
Memory?
Male. Like Zachar.
I thought Tom means taste.
Tam? Oh, with a tet ayin. Good question. There are different spellings. That is called a... Thank you. No, it's good. Thank you. Homina. The homonym, you know? Homonym, two words, sound the same, but have different meanings. So it's called a homonym because homo means one. And nim, one name, is one word, two meanings, homonym. Okay. So this is Tammuz, and it has to do with the Tam that we've seen by the Seder. Echad Chacham, Echad Rasha, Echad Tam, Ve'echad She'ino Yidei Lishol. Right? There's four sons. Wise, one was wise and one was wicked, one was simple, and the bor. That's the Tam. You know? Tam is like PASHUT, like simple. You know? So that's Tam. But what does it mean? Simplicity and maleness? Now, is simplicity, if we go that, like, okay, is that like female parts? It's like, yeah, simple. Easy. You know? Tabas bezichros. Or they just call, right? But there's no what? There's no femininity and masculinity in boys. In boys, so they obviously don't know about Big Bird. But I don't know. Actually, Big Bird is kind of asexual if you think about it. What is Big Bird? A guy or a girl? I guess a guy. A girl?
Muppet.
He's a Muppet.
Agreed.
He's a Muppet.
He's a Sesame Street character.
He's a Sesame Street character. We know that on Sesame Street they have globes, part of the Shibud. Get them out of there. We have to know their symbols so we know like when we can just like immediately get them out of here. You know? Get them out of here. Rechov Sum Sum. It doesn't make it, just because they translated to Hebrew doesn't make it
No, it's
not
its
Shibud.
its own.
Rechov Sim Sum, Sesame Street. Okay, the vegetable or the seed, good. The TV show, Shibud. But still, it's okay to, I don't know. Actually, I'm not positive if it's okay or not. We're still learning the sugya. Okay, Ema davar erva v'nus nami lo livzo behu. So say that if you worship or rape a chicken, it shouldn't invalidate it from a korban. Kamash Malah, we learn from there. Get out of here, you disgusting birdophile. Get out of here.
File, get it?
Oh, birdophile. Get him out of here. Okay. So we go back to 22b, and we're going to go over the Gemara again, this time with the Heliga Derashi. Dabers. By Rebbe Zera. What does it mean? What does it mean? By.
He comes with a question.
By, yeah, yes, by, yeah. He's got a question. I got a problem here. And the only solution is more cowbell.
That's a Rashi.
That's
I
it.
think it was.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
By Rebbe Zera to Rashi, no pun intended, because Rashi means noise in Hebrew. Let's go. All right. So Rebbe Zera asked, he says, Omer Hare Alai Ola Minat or Minat Behema. Some guy is like, yo, I want to make a neder from the turtle doves or from the son of a dove. Son of a dove. Son of a dove. Vehevi Techila Atziuv Shabazeh Vazaz. So he brings the beginning of the yellowing in this one. And that one. This one. And that one. He brings both, right? Either one of them. What's the din? The Gemara is going to ask Mahu. Sveika Avi Vinavik. Do we say, listen, the beginning of the yeller is just an uncertain situation. We don't know. Maybe it's no longer a kid anymore, or maybe it's too young to be an adult. But if you bring it, okay, you're still Yotze. Odilma Bari Birya, we're 100% sure it's definitely that once it gets a little yeller on its neck, it's not a kid anymore, or it's not old enough. Velo nothing, it is not Yotze. Okay, that's what I think it says. Now we're going to see it again with Rashi. Mina Torim O Mina B'nei Yona. So from the turtle doves or from the son of a doves. From which either one I want. Vehevi Mishneim. He's like, yo, I'll do them both, you know?
Isn't a neder for a specific item? And
What do you mean? Oh, a neder. He makes a
so I'm going to bring a bird. It doesn't have to quantify what bird he's bringing. And
so what does he say? Oh, Zalman asking great questions as always. What is his lashon here? he says Hare alai. He's not saying I'm going to bring this specific bird. He's saying it's on me to bring a bird. And it's either this one or that one. This one. Or that one. So, are we sure or not? That's the first question. Minatorin, vehevi, mishten, techilas tziv mahu. Yotzi yedei nidro olo. Kol nidrei. L'zayotze. With my bird, with the yellow neck. Olo, or not. Haditnan. Behold, that it is in a Mishnah. The beginning of the yellowness, Basel, is Basel invalid, Mishnehen, in both of them. Mishum Sveikaho, is it because of a suffix? Shema Gedailim, Shema Gedanim, we're not sure. I don't know if it's a youngin or an oldin. Hilgach hanaider Tyrim lo yatza. So if you said Tyrim, you're not turtle doves. You're not yotze Sheva Gedana. Maybe they're young. Hanaider b'nei Yaina, and the son of doves. Lo yatza Sheva Gedailim. Maybe that they're adults already, so you can't bring them. They left young. Aval zeh shenadar eze sheyirtza. But this guy who says I'm gonna bring either one I want. This guy gives himself options, He thinks he's cool. His name's Jack Harlow. He thinks he's good at rapping, He thinks he's tall. And he says, I got options. I got options. That's what he says.
But all the options are in their troubled teen years.
Yeah, exactly. But all the options are in their the tweens, the teenagers, and the twerps. Sveikahu, Shema Gedailah. Maybe they're gadol, maybe they're kata. Therefore, you're not yotzei, and either one. Aval zeh not the ezes sheyirtz. I'll bring whichever one I want. Vehevi shneim, and he brings both of them. Yatsa mimanav shach. Automatically, I'm good. Im gedolim heim yatsa mishum torin, ve'im gedarim heim yatsa mishum b'nei Yona. Wow! And if they're youngins, so then you're yotzei for b'nei Yona. This is a case where a guy says, "I'm going to bring either turtle dove or turtle doves or." Son of a doves. And then he goes and he brings both of them that are yellow. Right? And so he says, listen, if yellow means they're too young, right? So then I'll be yotzei on the son of a dove. If yellow means that they're too old, so then I'll be yotzei on the Torah. I'll bring one of each. Or, the Gemara say, or is it that it's a birya havi and you're not yotzi? Oh Dilma, or maybe lo gedolim ninu v'lo ketanim, says Rashi. Maybe it's not that they're big and small and we just don't know. They're not Gedalim, or they're not Gedanim. Ela Birya Be'alma Havu. Okay, I see what it means Birya now. I could have gotten that before. Birya, it means Birya Be'alma, like it's its own creation. It's its own thing, He says, Mom, you can't make me go on my own creation. I have my yellow stripes and feathers. That's his hissy fit. He's a tween. And so he says, Birya Ba'alma Havu. Diyatzu Miklal Ketanim. It's not anymore Ketanim. It's not anymore smalls. V'lechlal gedolim lo ba'u. But it didn't come to big yet. It's not adult yet. It's its own thing.
But we're not measuring size, we're measuring maturity.
Yeah, we're measuring maturity, the status of this thing. Can it be brought at this age? Can it be brought as a son of a dove? Or
So it's
can
the
it be
maturity,
brought?
it's the
Or
age.
can it be brought?
It's not
Yeah,
the physical size.
yeah. It's not the physical size. It is the age, which means that this picture, it could have been a youngster. Yeah.
It seems what we're saying from Rashi here is there's three categories of birth, age. One is young, one
Yeah.
is Birya, one is old.
Well, yeah. The birya is like the middle.
Right.
Right, it's like this middle age, and it's not good for either one of them. So even if a person would say, listen, I'm going to bring either turtle dove or dove, and then he comes and brings both, and they're both yellow, and he's like, listen, if it's young, I'm Yotze, if it's old, I'm Yotze. But like, oh, Dilma, get out of here, you're not Yotze at all, because it's its own birya, it's not a suffix, it's its own creation, it's its own thing. I'm my own thing, Mom. So if you're going to say that it's birya, wait, Rava says, Tashbach, over here, is there from the fact that we need a pasuk. From the fact that we need a pasuk to exclude it. Oh, really? Oh, really, Rava? Where was that pasuk? Then why don't you just remind me where that pasuk is? Okay. So Rava says, I'll tell you, prat means to exclude. Prat, l'techila tziyuv shabazeh v'shabazeh. We see in our Mishnah on 22a, I mean, that it says techila tziyuv puzzle, techila tziyuv bazeh v'bazeh puzzle. The beginning of the yellowness on this or that, it's puzzle, right? Mm-hmm. So Rava is saying, look at what we have. It says probably and this one and that one is puzzle. Iyamart bishlema. If you said, oh, it stims birya, that it's talking about that it's its own thing. Yellow neck is his own thing. You yellow necked teenager. You know? It's its own thing. Avi Shapir. Then everything's good. Shapir means good, beautiful. Where do we know Shapir? What does it remind us of?
Heaven's up here.
Maybe Sapir, but I'm thinking Shapir. Well, my name is Ben Shapiro, and I can talk really fast and really sound smart. And the last name Shapiro means beautiful. Shapir is good. You know? Oh, Ben Shapiro, I can say things really fast, and you will not have time to think about what I said and to realize that it actually doesn't always make any sense. And I'm making huge assumptions. Okay. But really, what do we say about Ben Shapiro? Where's he at in Yeshiva School HaShol standing right now? Mud. Why? Because of his tweet, get vaccinated, dopes, at the beginning of the pandemic. You actually are the dope, Ben Shapiro. And that song that you did with Tom McDonald was horrific. And Tom McDonald possibly is Macklemore, the Nazi. Okay. So, Shabaz Iyamar Bishleba, that it's a birya, that's great. Ela Iyamar, that it was a suffix. What, we need a pasuk to exclude the suffix? Okay, let's see some Rashi. Amarav Tashma, why do we need the pasuk? If you're going to say the pasuk, because it's its own thing, and even though it's its own thing, the Leika Lemechash, Lisfeika, oh yeah, I remember the pasuk, was Minha Torim Mina b'nei Yona. That's the pasuk. Right? That's the pasuk. Mina Torim v'lo go Torim Mina b'Yona v'lo ko b'nei Yona. It's coming prat to Techilas Tziyov. So if you're telling me that Techilas Tziyov is like its own thing, it's teenager status, it's Charmeleon over here, you know. So then, okay, fine. I need a pasuk to tell me what this random, crazy, middle-aged bird is. What's the law about him already? You know, it's bird mitzvah. You know, he gets his bird mitzvah. And he gets called up to Kroas HaTorah. Okay, veiter. If you say that it shtims, that it makes sense, Ashma'inan Kra, you bring me a pasuk, because it's its own birya, it's its own creation, and even so, we don't have to we don't have to worry about the suffix. Kigon bebaya, you know, like in our question, the pesile that says that it's puzzle. Shabir asakra. I understand why I need a pasuk to tell me it's puzzle, because we have this creature that we don't know what it is. You know, it was just yesterday. Mary, Mary, it was just yesterday that our little boy had no yellow on his neck and he would listen to us. But now, you know, he's walking around like cock of the walk, defying us. Uncontrollable over here. Okay, we need a pasuk to tell me what to do with that Charmeleon middle guy. But if you say that it's a suffix and the kra lo paslinu elahecha de michayev torim behedja o b'nei Yona behedja, and so the pasuk doesn't say it's possible; it just says we don't know. And so if the guy says, "Okay, I'm going to bring turtle doves," and then he brings them yellow, well, we don't know if it's good enough. If it's good, so it's not kosher. But if he's going to bring one or the other, either turtle doves or regular doves, and he brings the yellow, it's either one or the other, so he'll be yotzei mimanavshach. Either way you look at it, either direction, you're good. If yellow really means that they're young, so then you'll be good on the regular dove. If it really means that they're old, so then you'll be good on the turtle doves. So then why do I need a pasuk? If you think it's a suffix, why do I need a pasuk? Answers the Gemara. It's tarich kra lemeutei sveika. Why? I need a pasuk? It's a question, I think. It's tarich kra lemeutei sveika. Why? I need a pasuk coming to exclude a state of uncertainty. It's the kra lemeutei says mi ika sveika kame kud shabrichu. Why? You're saying that the Eibishter himself is not sure chas v'shalom is sveika before Hashem? Kami kudrabrich, pshitalach the gedailim ninu. If we know that they're big, aisinu biturim. Bring them as turtle doves. Pshitalach the ketarim ninu. If we know that they're young, is aisinu b'bnei Yona. So then bring the son of doves. We gave on the low pshitalah. Since we don't know lo v'loha, not this one, and not that one. Mehecha tezak adaita na'ach shurinu. Why would I even have the havamina? Why would it even occur to me and arise on my intellect to possibly make it kosher? Why do I need a pasuk to tell me that it's not kosher? I never would have thought to make it kosher because I don't know, it's a suffix. Like, why would I think to make the middle guy kosher? And then I need a pasuk to tell me, oh, by the way, beginning of the yeller, no good. And for the Gemara, ki itzterich kra. Oh, the thing we need the pasuk for, limaude nirva v'nevad, raped and worshipped. Please worship me. rather than the alternative, says the chickens. And, also the regular chulins. What animal is this, guys? Was it deer?
The giraffe.
Giraffe. Oh, yeah, uncle is the giraffe. Oh, yeah, giraffe. Okay, well, it's a giraffe, except that where's this neck? It's literally not a giraffe. The one thing that you know about a giraffe is that it has a neck, and this guy is neckless. So, the Me'udei Nevar Unirva, raped and worshipped. Ve'avagav ditana kitani pra l'techilas atziyov. And even though in the Brisa it said that it says min hatorim min habenayona, from the turtle doves, from the son of the dove. Masmachta ba'almahu, that's just an asmachta. I love that. I love when the Gemara says that. It's such a wild thing. The Gemara says, yeah, but just an asmachta. It's just, they're just relying, it's just a mnemonic. They're just saying, like, oh yeah, mina Torah, mina benayona, from the doves, and not all the doves, but they're not, it's not Deoraisa saying that. That's just a mnemonic. Min hator, mina benayona. What is it really coming to exclude? We're not saying that, like, we're not taking this miyut seriously. It does say from the turtle doves, and so we learn not all the turtle doves. But the real thing that we're talking about here is not the beginning of the yellowness. That's just a mnemonic. But the olam psulinu mishum sfeika, and really their puzzle. Why is the yellow puzzle? Because we're not sure if it's old or young, and so then why would I need a pasuk to come and tell me that it's not okay? Why would I thought it was okay in the first place? Really, the pasuk is coming to tell me that what's not okay if the animal is raped or worshipped. Rova leka lememar be'ofos de'enecha of rova. Very interesting. Adds Rashi this very interesting. What's that guy's name? Thornberry, Eliza Thornberry. What's the guy's actual name? The impression guy. Here we see these animals mating. And they see that the birds, their mating was very quick, and they just mated for 1 second. David Attenborough. I was doing probably not such a good impression of it, but I did my best, and that's what's important. Thank you. So here we see some human trying to be intimate with this bird. But apparently, it does not have a halachic nafkamina. Thank you, David Atten Kfar, Atten City, Atten here. So what's he saying? He's saying, I would have thought to say that since it says ki mashchisem bahem mumbam, that when it's talking about an animal brought by a non-Jew, it's talking about ki mashchasam bahem mumbam. So it says the lashon of hashchasa, which we could learn as like corruption, like mushchat is corrupt, So their blemish is in them, in the animals of the Goyim. It says Gabe Korbanos. It says by Korbanos ki mashchasa bahem mumbam. It says lo yirtzu lachem. It won't be good. It won't appease for you. De bein hashchasa bein mum poslim bahem. So whether you were corrupt with this animal, whether this animal has a blemish, it's puzzle. And Rabbi Shmuel says that anywhere where it says hashchasa, it's talking about davar erva, rova v'nirva. There's another thing that can puzzle the animal. Not just if someone has sex with the animal, but if a girl let the animal have sex with her, that also puzzles the animal. Avodas gochavim is nevad de she'ishtachave lebehemto. He's davening, he's praying, he's bowing down in worship to his animal. That puzzles the animal. You can't go and then bring these animals as a korban. You know? Wow. Okay. So, ki yishchiz kol basar es darko ala aretz. And so that's how we know that it's erva and pentashchisun. This is machem pesa. That's how we know it's avodah zara. Avodah, right? Ki yishchiz kol basar. So that talking about the bedur mabul, as Rashi says. Ksiv. The Dor HaMabul be'erva kilku. So what did the Dor HaMabul do wrong? It was erva. Kedichsev, because it says, Vayiklu lahem nashim. They took for them wives. Oh yeah, who was taking for them wives? Pretty sure it was the Bnei Elohim. Might have been some antediluvian titans. You know? Some mountainous individuals. So it wasn't just that they were going after their friends' women, but also they were going after animals and other, right? Behema and chaya. Behemoth and animals. Behema, right? Because what does the pasuk say? It says, Ki hishriz is ki hishriz kol bazar as dark ala aretz or kuchav mitzvah poso dover erba ravim poslin. But what does it say behema? Later on, it says there's tamas and ophos. So it says if the mum is posel, so then erva and nevad is posel. So an animal is puzzle, but if it is in a boid, recall she'ein hamum posel bo, ein davar is erva posel bo, v'hani ovos, these boids, that since the mum is in puzzle on them, because we learned that there's tamas and zichros in behema, not tamas and zichros in ophos. So what's pshat? Behema ksiv tamim. Oh, tamus, like perfection, like tam, because it says that it has to be tam, and it says it has to be zachor, tamim zachar. When it's talking about a zachor, there's sonchem tamid zachar babaker b'kavashim v'izim chav beis yud vayikra chav beis yud tez. Wait a tick. Chav beis yud tez. All right, I waited a tick. So it says, when you're bringing a neder or an idava to Hashem, you're bringing an ayla to the Bari Ayla. There it's sonchem tamid, tamim zachar. So it has to be male, and it has to be perfect. It has to be complete. And so there is tamus and zichros in the behema. Yeah, the animal has to be perfect, and it has to be also male. But there's not Thomas in the train engine in Nekeva. An oaf. Ava oaf lo. Ksiv Bey. It hasn't written about it. Lo tamim doesn't have to be perfect. Lo zachar helgach lo basli behumumim kitanim. So therefore, so what do you mean? There's no mum. If I cut the bird in half, it's no problem. No. So it says Rashi here says mumim kitanim, small mums, like dokim sheba'ayim, like something in the eye flap. Ella mumim gedalim could go mechazer aver, but if you chop off its leg, mishum ikrivu not lepichsecha. So that is a psul that we learn out from that pasuk. I guess they learn out from that pasuk, and it is in the pasuk somewhere, and they learn it out somewhere. The pasuk, I'll tell you where it is though. It's in Malachi. Malach. It's pretty gewaldig. Maybe I will see that Gemara, that Tanakh in Malachi. I do like to see Tanakh, but let's first get this Gemara. So there's no Tamas and Zichros in an Eif. So maybe, so you would say, oh, there's no Tamas and there's no Zichros in the Eif. Maybe there's no problem to rape or worship this Eif, this bird. Kamash Malan. Exactly, that's the answer of the Gemara. Get out of here, you know? But let's see this Ikrivu. This is a very interesting pasuk in Malachi. We go to Malachi. Interesting, by the way. Who knows the name of this stone? Malachi. And we're learning Malachi. I don't know what's PASHUT. But I just thought of it. I'm like, yo, Malachi. Chagai, Zechariah, and Malachi. Malachi is the last of the prophets.
Wow.
And we see a pasuk by Malachi. And the pasuk says, Azoi, it says, Ki sagishun iver lizoveach, what a blind person, a blind animal, is going to come for a korban. Ein ra, v'chita zigun pisech v'chola, if it's sick, or if it's like crippled or limping. Ein ra, hikrivenu na lepichasecha. What's he say? He says, Hekrivehu na, please bring, present if you please, lepichasecha, it says here, to your governor. What? I don't know what he means by that. Anyone who wants to look up this pasuk in Malachi 1:8 is invited. Hayirtzecha o hayisa fanecha amar Adonai Tzvos. He's like, yo, would it be pleased with you? Would you show your favor? Oh, like, wait, you're going to give this, like, damaged animal to Hashem Yisbarach? Because who cares if Hashem gets a good one or a bad one? Like, would you do it to your governor? Would you give it to Arnold Schwarzenegger, the governor?
Before I give it to Hashem.
Yeah, right? You're going to give... And so then it says, Ata chaluna p'ne'el. It says, and now, if you now entreat God, but it uses the word p'ne'el, Shara Rabbi H, with the peniel to shell. V'chanenu miyedchem, ha'isa zos, ha'isa mechem panim. So basically, get out of here, these repulsive offerings, national disrespect. One thing that's interesting, once we're in Malachi in the first parak, I would be recant or remiss if I were not to mention this great pasuk. Hashem's talking to Am Yisrael. What does Hashem say to Am Yisrael? Hashem says, I loved you. V'amartem bama ahavtanu. And Am Yisrael was like, why? You know? Why do you love us, Hashem? Oh my God, Hashem, why do you love us? Why are you so obsessed with us, Hashem? Hello, Ach Esav v'Yankiv. What's the answer? Why does Hashem love us? Was Esav not the brother to Yankiv? Nu'um Hashem? Ve'ohev es Yaakov. And I loved Yaakov. Hashem loved Yankiv. V'ez Esav sanesi, but I hated Esav. I hated these freaking Satan-worshipping pedophiles. Ve'azim es harav shemama, and I will make his mountains desolate. V'ez nachalazo l'sanois midbar. Yeah, desert serpents. Tanin v'adam v'chayas re'emi. So sanos midbar, desert serpents. That's what you got. Oh, Esav, you got a good inheritance, right? Sagt Eberster, that it's about to become desert serpents. I hope you like desert serpents. You know? Because that's what it's all about to be. Oh, you thought you got a nice swimming pool, a nice stadium. What does it turn into for Esav? Sanais Midbar, get out of here. Okay, so we had to read those psukim. A great pasuk in Malachi. I always go in, if we can find a pasuk, not always, but I like to go in. Pasuk in Treyasar. Come to see the Nevi'im, the words of the prophets that are coming true in our day before our very eyes. So, it says behema, but there is not tapas b'zichus b'of. You would think that you can still bring an oaf that was worshipped or raped. Kamash Malan, get that raped bird out of here. Raped bird. Okay, so where do we go from here? The next Gemara that I think we're going to see tomorrow is another question from Rabbi Zera. It's a good thing we have our Seder Adoros. Maybe we'll learn a little bit about Rabbi Zera. We'll be learning about it tomorrow also. What do we know about Rabbi Zera first off? We know that he was what? Oh, you would think he was a Tana, but we think again, and we say that he was an Amora from Eretz Yisrael, and that's why it says Rebbe. Oh. But Rabbi Zera, I'll just bring one thing that he said, just randomly opened up to it. Rabbi Zera says, Benos Yisrael, Hichmiru al Atzman. The daughters of Israel were super duper machmir on themselves. Avilu ro'as dibas dam kechardal, yoshvos zayin nikiyim. Even if they see a bit of blood, they like, we're sitting 7 clean. All right, just a little need information about Rabbi Zera. But one of the things I like about Rabbi Zera is the one I believe who came to Eretz Yisrael from Babylon, escaped. He escaped. His Rebbe, Rav Yehuda, didn't want him to go, and he's like, I'm out of here. And so I always liked Rabbi Zera. Okay, that's about Rabbi Zera. What are we going to see today? There's a big, whoa, you guys want to see a big Tosfos? Look at the bottom Tosfos on 22b.
Wow. Monster Tosfos.
Monster Tosfos.
It goes all the way down the next stop.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's a monster toast. I don't know if we're going to see it. But let's see. By Rabbi Zera. Let's go over it again. We love Chazal. Rabbi Zera as Omer Harei Ola min Adorim. This is going to be for me, unto me, an Ola from the turtle doves, or from the son of doves. Ve'hevi techila zatziyuv shabazeh bazeh. He brought one of each. What's the din? We say So is it a suffix and you'd be Yotzei because it's either one of the other. So you'd have been Yotzei with the Torah that you brought or the Bnei Yonah that you brought. Or is it a birya? If it's its own animal in and of itself. We say the word birya b'fnei atzmo by koi. Remember the koi? The suffix chaya, suffix behema, it's its own thing. So here also it's the same idea. It's a suffix katan or a suffix gadol. We're not sure, is it big or small? Or is it its birya? It's its own thing. So the Gemara says, I understand birya because then I would need a pasuk to tell me what's going on with this animal, this creation in and of itself, this teenage. I'm just a teenage bird pig baby like you. Right, she's a teenage bird. So if you say it's a suffix, it's either one or the other, so why do I need a pasuk to exclude that? Says the Gemara, you're right. The pasuk is not coming to exclude that. It's coming to exclude a bird that's an animal that is raped. An animal that a person had sex with. Or that a woman let have sex with her. Now, I don't know about that one, but let's see what the Rambam says. Per Gibel Olachavav Hilchos Yisurim Mizbeach. So we go to the Rambam, Hilchos Yisurim Mizbeach, and we turn to the back, Gibel Vav, and we try to remember it, and we don't want to do anything to distract us, and we take out a gun! Oh, he's got a gun! He said, why won't you come out of the closet? Not come in. Okay, so Isurei Mizbeach. And we're joined with R. Kelly again here, looking for Isurei Mizbeach Gimel Vav. And
R. Kelly was a reference to teenage birds?
no, that's good. No, R. Kelly was a reference to, and I think I'm a gun! Yisurim Mizbeach. What did we say it was? Gimel Vav? Okay. Vikol Harovea, but yeah, exactly, to raping young birds. That's R. Kelly. Good one. Vikol Harovea vehanirva vehamuksa la'avodah zara. So what's a muksa la'avodah zara? Oh, now I stumped you guys because everyone's like, oh great, he's asking about a word that I know, muksa. But now, wait a second, now we need to use our thinking caps a little bit. What's muksa for avodah zara?
Maybe it would be that a piece or an idol or a piece of an idol that would be forbidden to touch.
Well, let's see. What's muksa?
Right.
What's muksa?
Yeah.
We learned about it in Beitza. L'haksos is to put aside. Remember, we saw Machukas Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Shimon, if they even have muksa in the first place. Is muksa only like with raisins and grapes and things that I like in my mind put aside to go get dry? Or is muksa anything that I didn't say I'm going to use? So the way that we are now is like we're stringent like Rabbi Yehuda that everything is muksa unless like we decided, right, you know? But Rabbi Shimon says nothing's muksa except if you specifically said I'm not going to use it. So what's muksa? That's muksa for Shabbos. What's muksa for avodah zara? Haktzot, put it aside. I'm going to worship this. Muksa, right? V'hanevad, and the worship. When ava bijei mutarim be'achila, zag Rambam nam nam. Nam nam when it comes to mundane food that we eat on a day-to-day basis. Oh, so when it's sex with your hamburger, no problem, as long as it's not a hamburger from in Kachim. Oh, someone worshipped your chicken wing? Not a problem if it's mundane food. Ve'hanevad, right? Even though it's mutter b'achila, harehem pesulun legam mizbeach. Get them out of off my altar, says Hashem. I don't want them anywhere near my altar. Get them out of here. Shenemar ki mishchasam bam. Because your corruption is in them. And what is corruption in an animal? If not, Phoenicians in the animal. Over here. Chav. Hamevin Yav. Kol sheyesh bo hashchasa pesula. Anything that is corrupted, that has corruption in it, puzzle. Ube avera u omer, and by avera, it's saying ki hishriz kol basar. We're talking about avera, which is like sexual impropriety, aka sleeping with animals. And it says that's what the mabul, the Dora mabul, the world was just created. You know, they're like, oh, Grandpa Adam had sex with all of these hyenas. Why can't we? Maybe they had a point. But Hashem said, drown, become mountains perhaps, with a process of silification or calcification. Kol sheyesh bo hashchasa pasul. V'chein behema ve'of shahargo as ha'adam. Also an animal or a bird that killed a person. Harehein kirova o nirva v'pesul mizbeach. You also can't bring them. You can't bring an animal that's a murderer to the mizbeach. You know?
How would one know?
Well, if you don't know, so you don't know. But if you do know, so then you can't bring it. Excellent, Chambam. And then he says, and we learn from Tana to Bei Shmuel that every time it says Hashchasa, it's talking about Davar Erva and Avodas Kochavim. Okay. So Ki Hashchasa Bazar. So it says every time it uses the word corruption, hashchaza, it's talking about erva and avodas kochavim. Now, let's see Marsha. I just like the Marsha. Why? Because his name is Shmuel? I don't know if that's the only reason. Is that a tiny reason? I don't even know if it's a tiny reason. I just like the Marsha. And I want to see if he talks, about this. Okay. Ki mashchaschem. He's just talking about the Tosfos. Maybe we will see that Tosfos. There's a Marsha, even though it's a tiny Marsha. But it's also like, maybe it's a good Tosfos. We have like 10 minutes left. Okay. So it says, Ki hishchisem bahem, because your corruption is, their corruption, the guy's korban, his corruption is in the korban. And so it's like a blemish. A guy's korban is like blemished. Zakt the heilige Tosfos. Zalman, you see the Tosfos? Shteig, show him the Tosfos. Esther, you see the Tosfos? Rivka, show the Tosfos. But ki mashachtem. It's the Tosfos.
This whole thing, yeah.
No, it's this one. Ki mashachtem. Bahem mumbam. So it says that the corruption's in them, the mum's in them. Kan mashma. Here it implies lekuli alma islahu hach drasha de mishchaschem. Here it implies that everyone has that drasha, that when it says that ki Mashachtem bam, it means that is a mum on the animal of a non-Jew automatically, because I don't know why, because we assume that he raped them. Assume that, like, I don't know.
Didn't we learn in the other Gemara that I don't remember where, but I remember learning with you that you don't leave like your animal alone with the guy because you can assume that they're gonna have relations?
Yeah, you're gonna be chashid.
It must be that this is the chashid that they're going off.
Oh, very good. We know that the guy is chashid. That's why we don't leave our animals in their stalls.
Yeah.
Excellent. Probably somewhere in Avodah Zarah.
Oh, nice.
But great sushi. Sushi like that again.
What about like non-kosher animals? Non-kosher animals you could leave them there.
Well, a non-kosher animal doesn't become less kosher if a guy has sex with it.
So yeah, no issue.
Yeah, so watch your gerbils, watch your peacocks. They're raping everything out here. It says kan mashma the likuli alma. Everyone has this drasha of the mishchas the palig adrasha zo, because if there was anyone who disagreed with this drasha, hahu tana the darish, this tana that darshins, hilgaman tamua. It says he darshins tana that darshins that mina behema. It says from the animal to exclude, right? We see that the word min from and not all. Just like we saw min hatorim, min b'nei yaina. So it's min behema coming to exclude. What's it coming to exclude? Lahotzi as harovea. It's to get out the animal that some girl bent down before and let sleep with her. And let make sweet the Hotzi as a rovea, sweet revere. Obviously, it's disgusting. It's corruption, and that korban cannot be brought at all for the Beis Hamikdash. Keep that for the yeshiva barbecue. You know, I'm saying keep that for something chulin. Keep that for something chulin. I'm saying. Lehodzi as a rovea. In gain lidok dvareha, then it should have been careful in its words. Havi, or search its words, right? The man de lo darish draja de mishchasam, the one who doesn't darish in this draja of mishchasam, elevadai kulu darshilu. Everyone learns this, right? And even so, it's the Rechmina Behema Umina Bakar Lahoti as a Nirba. We still need the diok of Mina Behema Mina Bakar to tell me that you can't have the animal whether it is penetrator or penetratee. The Elo Havi Darshina mi Mashachtam. That if we didn't infer from the fact that it's talking about their corruptions in this animal. Beha Talia, they're connected with each other, I guess, like the penetrator and penetratee. Ella mishum de ashkechan kvar bekadshim sheshavin bahen davar erva vavodas gochavim v'mum. So we see that they're compared. If the animal was sexed or it was worshipped or if it was blemished. V'nafgamina draja v'nami makminan, maybe draja de mishchasam le ma'as the meiser behema. So also for meiser behema the chal rova v'nirva k'moshachal al balmum, some guy really thinks he's smart, some pervert farmer really thinks he's smart, and he's like, I don't want to give all my meiser behemoths to the animal. I know, I'll just have sex with all of them, and then I won't have to give meiser behema. Says the Torah, still give it.
Whoa.
Ba'almum, Rabbi Shimon, slash maybe Yisrael, Nafgamina Gam Lepara. So there's a Nafgamina for Meiser Behema, and there's also a Nafgamina for Paraduma, for the red red hue heifer. Because that's all anyone would ever do, is just read it for the articles, right? Red heifer. V'im tomar, and if you're gonna ask, when Tosfos says v'im tomar, it's him asking a question. Tosfos, whenever he asks a question, he makes a big announcement. Question from the Heilige Tesis. Rashi, not only does he not ask the question, he doesn't even tell you he's asking it. He just tells you one word, and that was to tell you what you figure out what the question was, and that's his answer. That's Rashi. These are his grandkids. They're like, time for questions. Everyone get ready.
That's because they're going through the yellow stage of life.
Yeah, exactly. They were youngins. You know? Yeah, they're Siberians. They're units, the Heilige Tesis. Rabbeinu Tam?
They mean well.
Rabbeinu Tam or Rabbeinu Zechros? Okay. Ve'im Tomar, and if you're going to ask, Bereish Kol HaAsura, in the beginning of this parak in Temura, Amrinan, we say, Dedara de Mishachtem, Mishchasam, Moki Cry, establishes the Pasuk, the Mina Behema, Prat coming to exclude Zagein Vechole, you know, an old or sick animal. Umezuham, and stanky animal. I don't know what Mezuham is. This animal stinks! Get it out of the base of Mikdash, it stinks. V'yesh lomar, Tosfos, again, time for an answer, everyone get ready. Rashi's like, I have one word, you know. V'yesh lomar, Dana de mishchasam vaday mashmalei. Lishas de mavik rovea and yirvo. Where of course we're going to exclude the penetrator, the worst robot that Elon Musk has made to this day. Elon Musk? Okay. Dechal al re'nir kamosh al bal. Wait a second. Al bal mum. Wait a second. The navki. Mizum. V'yesh lomar ever Tosfos that. Of course, the Shas is inferring from this corruption to exclude sex from the pasuk of corruption. The fact it says corruption. Aval shar tenai dinafki mimina behema. But the other things, for example, it can't be too old, it can't be too stank, can't be too sick. Is lahu drasa de mishchasam. So there we need the drasha to include them also. Kidim mifrishis, like we explained. V'chein mashma perik basar of Bechoros, and it's also talking about the last perik in Bechoros. The pligi hazam kama tanai. There was a bunch of machlukas tanaim over there. A bunch of tanaim were arguing. Hey you, over here, over there. Gabe meiser behema. They're talking about meiser behema, which is. Give 1 out of every 10 of your animals to the Kohen or something. Gabe tumtum or androgynous, a tumtum and androgynous. A tumtum is we don't know if it's male or female. Androgynous is that it has both. Ubemechusser zman, maybe it's not old enough. Beyotze dofen, it had a cesarean section. Aval nirva v'rova v'muktzah v'nevad. But those guys, right? So those possible problems, they're people that argue about it, and they talk about, oh well, you know, maybe if we rip it open and we see that it either only has one male or female genital, and they go through all these different sugyas. But when it comes to penetrati, penetrator, muksa, and nevad, lo aksh. No one argues. Umashman implies that kulu modu demit asra, and everyone agrees that give it meiser behema here. Here, Kohen, I give you an extra special Meiser Behema. This Agadaidach gave on the Ovos Liznu Birova. Since it's no problem, right? You don't. It's not possible for a girl to get to bring upon her a bird in sexual congress. Not possible. I'm not getting into the anatomy. I'm not an expert. Chachmas Chazal, Teisviz, says not possible. Okay. And so we don't have, right? We don't have rova by a boyd. We don't have rova, the rova by a bird. Wait, where am I here? Verova, v'muksa, v'neva, large gun, no one argues with it. The kulu moda, the mitas, and you can bring my like we darshan over there from that pasuk of hashchasa, of corruption. Umiu mehacha, from here, ikal lemitchi, we can push it away. Daviduman delays lay drasha de mishchasam. He doesn't have the drasha of the corruption. It's derech min haturim. It says from the turtle doves, lemeute nirva. It's coming to exclude it's the reason it says from the turtle doves, it's coming to exclude a turtle dove that some guy penetrated. Listen, at least the turtle dove is the old one, you know? At least it was consensual. You might have thought to say sins by birds, there's no rovea. Tosfos tells us there's no such thing as someone bending down and letting a bird have their way with them. It can't happen. It's not possible. The birds don't have the right pieces. You know?
I just keep thinking of an ostrich.
Maybe, I don't know. It's a good kasha. I don't know. Liznu nami b'nirva. So maybe you would think, it's no problem if they are penetrated, since they cannot be penetrators. High gavna, like in this case, Amrina Berik with Be'er Megades, we say a similar shtickle in Zvachim. Shkayach Gadol. Kol Tov, everyone, for a good Yom Rishon afternoon Seder. Kol Tov, much love. See y'all tomorrow. Mirza Shem tonight.
See you Josh Monday.
See you Josh